Dialing into the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, it is the We Back Pack game on SEC Network. All the dignitaries, including Top Dog, making an appearance as the 15th ranked Oklahoma Sooners have won 23 straight games in this building against unranked conference foes. But the Georgia Lady Bulldogs would love to stop that streak and get their first SEC road win.
Motor for this Georgia basketball team. She is known for her dynamic playmaking abilities. Her court vision and passing skills make her a central figure in Georgia's offense.
We are set to go here. Reagan Beers will jump center for the Sooners, and it will be Fatih Jahate in the center court interlocking OU jump circle. Couple of last words there from Peyton Burholz to Reagan Beers. The fans rising to their feet. It's also Oklahoma basketball alumni day. They've got about 50 former Sooners in attendance for this one. First touch will go to the Lady Bulldogs. This is one of the three freshman starters, Maya Verse. Trinity Turner, one of those other freshmen, off the mark with her first.
Well, this team is so young, but they are so dynamic. I mean, starting three freshmen is really a bright future for Georgia basketball.
Raina Scott gets the first look for Oklahoma off the mark with that one. Starting lineup for the Lady Bulldogs. Well, it is the fifth straight game in which they've started three freshmen out there. Verse, Turner, and Summer Davis. Avenger, of course. And Jahate is also very young. She's just a redshirt sophomore.
I mean, Oklahoma has their hands full. They talked about how each one of these guards for Georgia are playmakers. They can create on their own, and so they're going to have to do a really good job of containing the ball.
20 on the shot clock with the underneath out of bounds play. That pass is tipped by Raina Scott. Turner tried to scrape it up, but Burholz has it for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Burholz needs to have a really big game today for the Sooners to get back in that winning column.
Beers misses from point-blank range, and Verse has the rebound.
Well, how unusual is that, to see that young lady that close to the rim miss the shot? And sometimes it's those close ones that you have to have extra focus to put them in.
Yeah, rarity there. That pass was tipped out of bounds by Skylar Van. Lady Bulldogs will play in. Asia Avenger, the senior leader that we talked about in the open. Trinity Turner is not shy. She's played a lot of basketball with pressure on her. Had 14 points in the second half against Kentucky the other day.
Well, yeah, I mean, Coach Ab talked about it, you know, about she's a team leading scorer. She's a special player, not afraid of anything. She just plays tough.
Oklahoma starting lineup. First career start today for Raina Scott. Nevaeh Tot. It's the first time she hasn't started in over 3 years. Burholz having a great year, and last time Burholz played in this building, she had 38 points. There goes Beers, just powering her way in for two.
Yeah, defense opened up that back hip and gave her a straight, direct line to the basket. Nice kiss off the backboard for Reagan Beers.
So it was 103 consecutive starts for Nevaeh Tot prior to this one. Jenny Baranchek shaking things up a little bit. Avenger uses a screen. Kick out three by Turner is off the mark. And that rebound will be taken by Raina Scott.
Yeah, speaking of Raina Scott, I mean, that's what she does. Last game had 7 rebounds, and she just brings the energy that the Sooners need at this time.
That ball just goes out of bounds on the shot by Beers. Sahara Williams and Asia Avenger got tangled up. I think we're going to see a lot of that physicality. Certainly, Williams provides that for the Sooners.
Well, Jenny Baranchek talked about that, about Georgia's physicality and having to match that toughness in this basketball game.
Here's Avenger, the San Diego State transfer, spent 2 seasons at San Diego State. This is her second with the Lady Bulldogs. Jahate turns, fires, and ties this game at 2.
Yeah, talking about Avenger, you know, Coach Abe talked about that she has to do it all. She's the leader of this team, the only senior. It's like the bookends. You have all these freshmen, then you have her, but against Kentucky, had to defend a more Georgia that's going to be a draft pick. And now having Burholz as the main focus.
So 2 offensive rebounds for the Sooners. And there is Lady Bulldogs coach Katie Abramson-Henderson in her 3rd season, as you said, known as Coach Abe. What a great head coaching career at UCF. Took 3 teams to the NCAA tournament there. Missouri State, 5 years and 3 NCAA tournaments there. But she said this is a young team. And she said coaches and players have been vocal at trying to coach up the youngsters. But this week, the motto was, don't fix it. Just let them play through it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's, when you have a young team, you want to, control their thoughts a lot of times, and especially the seniors. And she said that was big for them. They just keep repeating terminology. They keep repeating what they want on offense and defense. Eventually, you just got to let it go and let them play.
Another missed free throw there, and a fourth look now for the Sooners on this trip as Lexi Keys comes in, replacing Tahara Williams, who has a word with Jenny Baranchek there.
And we talk about going back to Coach A. Her husband, Michael, officiated in the WNBA, NBA, and now is a college Division I women's basketball official. Goes across the country. I'm going to watch her and see if she yells at the officials and see if she practices that at home.
If she has restraint.
Yeah.
And their daughter Savannah is on this roster for the Lady Bulldogs, but she's out for the season with injury. Sooner head coach Jenny Baranchek, this week she said it was a great week of practice, good to practice and simulate. Wants her team to be more instinctive. And how about knocking down a three-point shot? That looked like a pretty good instinct right there.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. You would take that any time. But, yeah, I attended practice, and Jenny Baranchek does such an amazing job. And these players respect her so much, and she gets the best out of them.
A steal and a run-through for Liz Scott. Two more for the Sooners and a timeout for the Lady Bulldogs. Oklahoma with a 6-0 run, so they go to the bench. They bring in Scott and Tot and Keys, and it produces this spurt.
Well, thinking about the depth on this Oklahoma Sooner basketball team, and talking about when your name is called, keeping your value up, that young lady did that. What a great finish at the rim. Defense is going to be extremely important. They've got to pick up the basketball early and match up as quickly as possible, and then control the tempo. I expect Georgia to run a little bit of a full court zone press, going back into the zone. I've seen them do that to slow fast-paced teams down, and so I think that's going to be really important to force Oklahoma into less comfortable situations.
So you mentioned a little bit of full court pressure, and it's Oklahoma that comes out
right.
with it, and they force the turnover for the Lady Bulldogs. Not what you want out of a cold timeout.
No, you definitely don't. And Coach Abe, talk about her patience with this team because they are so young and they're going through some growing pains. But eventually, as she said, enough is enough, right? You got to start taking care of the basketball.
Liz Scott called for 3 seconds in the lane. And the turnovers, that is the second for Oklahoma so far this afternoon. And you don't want to make too much of it, but it's hard not to, given the state of Oklahoma's turnovers. As opponents are scoring about 24 points per game off their turnovers in conference play. That's 11 more than in non-conference play. But if you can just dial that back a little bit, they'd be in a much different state.
Just a little bit, right? And that's a key for Oklahoma, is take care of the basketball. And she talked about that with her team. And last 3 games, the Sooners have averaged 21 turnovers per game. Opponents scoring 22 points off of those turnovers. You got to value the basketball.
There's a friendly roll for Mia Woolfolk, one of those talented freshmen. Missed 9 games with injury, posting against Culleton here.
Yeah, just her body and her presence. I mean, she's foul prone. She missed 9 games due to injury, like you said, but she's a rebounder, and she is a bull in a china cabinet if she gets the ball inside.
Certainly made her presence known on that trip.
Yeah, she did.
Lob over the top, and Liz Scott. Beatrice Culleton with a good post dump down that time.
Yeah, that high-low presence, they worked on that in practice. That was just a great feed from the high post area.
A couple of buckets off the bench for Liz Scott. That one drops down for Summer Davis, the Detroit, Michigan freshman. Her sister India is also on this Georgia team. Twins.
Best three-point shooter on this team as well. She's 5th in the SEC with 3-pointers made, averaging 2 per game.
That went off the hands of Culleton, who missed. Oklahoma's missed 2 or 3 from up in close.
Yeah, but what a great high pass. And I'm going to give Miss Scott credit because she held off long enough to release and go get the basketball with a clean finish.
10-6 Oklahoma. A shuffling of the deck brings in the freshman Zaya Van for the Sooners. Avenger going to work out top against Keys, a good defender. Three ball by Summer Davis, no. They've had top rebounds and pushes. Keys, very good three-point shooter, as is evidence right there.
Yeah, what a great job, and that's where Oklahoma is deadly. If they can push the pace, and shooters like Lexi Keys can spot up around that perimeter, and that's one thing that Coach Bronchek told us, is that she wants Lexi Keys to shoot more because she's a great shooter.
Would they have to tell you that twice?
No, you wouldn't have to. I mean, they'd have to tell me to stop shooting.
Okay, that's enough.
You don't have the green light every time.
Nice operation inside by Woolfolk, but she couldn't finish it. Verse and Liz Scott get tied up. Possession arrow favors Oklahoma.
Yeah, and again, Nevaeh Todd, I mean, she's a floor junior. She can see the floor so well and knows how to get the basketball to her shooters. And Lexi Keys, I mean, she hunts her feet, and what a great three-point shot.
Lexi Keys, the threes haven't fallen with regular rate in conference play, but as Jenny Bronchek has said, listen, they will. The more she takes, the more that are going to go in.
Well, Chad, I noticed she was the first one on the floor prior to this game putting up shots.
Beers is back in for the Sooners. This is Zaya Van on the attack. Good defense, though, by Summer Davis. Over the top, Beers. Up with the left hand. No. Gets the retrieval and misses again. A third try results in a couple of free throws. That's just padding the rebound.
I know I was getting ready to say that. I mean, they said that, you know, the staffs told her in practice that they need her to rebound. And, well, they should have said put it in first. But, yeah, what a great job at keeping the ball high. Probably with the height difference, to go in with that right shoulder into the defense. And, again, you've got to play and shoot for the and one, not just for the foul.
You know, it takes time, as you and I have discussed, even with an All-American joining your team, and that's the case for Oklahoma. But remember, she was not fully cleared until October to get out on the floor and try to get into a rhythm with her teammates. That'll be a blocking foul on Zaya Van.
Yeah, and she's still trying to get in basketball shape, to be honest. And so it goes back to the bye week, right? And being able to work on some of those little things that makes her the great basketball player she is.
Beg your pardon, they're going to get an offensive foul that time against Trinity Turner. So Zaya Van takes the bump and gets Oklahoma another possession. That pass was batted down into the hands of Avenger.
Got to give it a chance. Got to move the basketball side to side, and that will open up most defenders. There's someone on that team that will make a defensive mistake if you allow them to pass. You know, if you're able to pass the ball long enough.
That was a pure mid-range stroke there from Asia Avenger. Beers showing you she can put it on the deck. Got that one to drop.
Yeah, just the versatility of that young lady. She's just assertive, and in that second half against the #2 team in the country, South Carolina, she showed what a force she is on the inside.
6 early points for Reagan Beers, 3 rebounds to go along with that. This is Damari Flournoy, who's entered the lineup. That mid-range stroke is a bit too long.
Yeah, and Coach Abe talked about her. She wants to come off the bench. She likes to see how the game is being played, and she wants the other team to get tired so she can come in and be that X factor off the bench.
Sahara Williams with her first field goal. Oklahoma starting to get into a little bit of a comfort zone on the offensive end, it appears.
Yeah, and Williams needs to have a big basketball game, and Coach Bronchek talked about that. She's very creative off the court, but she needs to be more creative on the court.
There's a little more of that creativity from Sahara Williams.
And 2 bigs in this lineup looking for that. Oh, what a great pass.
Beautiful give and go between Beers and Lexi Keys in a 13-point Oklahoma lead.
We love post players that are great passers, and that was just a, like you said, a give and go, and great job of leading her with the pass so she could finish.
That's going to be on Zaya Van as she's getting physical with Asia Avenger.
Chad, was this you right here? That nice little bounce pass, little pocket pass to Lexi Keys getting to the rim. St. Gregory's, come on, I know you had something. You played in some of those little pickup games.
Nothing like that, no.
Yeah, what a great read. That's something that in practice they worked on, you know, going 3v3. And, yeah, when they cut hard and cut with conviction, they're hard to stop.
Tough fall away shot there from Woolfolk. Offensive rebound gets the Lady Bulldogs a reset. 2 minutes to go in this opening period. This is a 6-0 mini run put on by Oklahoma. Avenger stops it. That's a long two, about as long a two as you can take.
Well, this young lady wants that pressure. I mean, she's the heart of the team, hardest worker, utility player, shooting 31% from the three-point line.
Van putting it on the deck for two.
Speaking of freshmen, we're going to mention freshmen a lot in this game. But she had a better week of practice. She fits extremely well in Coach Bronczek's system, and she's playing a little bit more freer.
Raina Scott pull up, pop, and that drops. Sooners are rolling, 15-point lead.
What a great mid-range jumper by Raina Scott.
And already a 25-point opening period for the Oklahoma Sooners. The 5th highest scoring team in the SEC. They average 87 per game. That will be a palming violation against Avenger.
You don't see that very often at any level.
That's 2 for me this year.
Really?
Yeah.
2?
In about 30 games that I've called.
Well, what a great job of attacking a loose closeout by Raina Scott with that mid-range jumper. That's what the Sooners need from her.
I like that term, loose closeout. That's going to be an illegal screen, I believe, against Reagan Beers that freed Raina Scott for 2. And it will be. So Beers picks up her first personal.
I've experienced Roy, and I know he'll make that call. I don't care where you are, but yeah, that's he's a good official and has been. But what I'm going to mention Reagan Beers in that clip right there. She sealed off the defense where the help didn't come over to clear that lane.
I'm not sure that wasn't friendly fire between two Lady Bulldogs.
I like that friendly fire.
Light full court pressure here. Sahara Williams going to guard Trinity Turner, the freshman guard from Orlando.
See, they're running a floppy action, looking to curl to get open, but Oklahoma defense is doing extremely well of denying that pass.
Maya Verse right into Liz Scott for 2.
Yeah, I like that young lady. Freshman, 6'1" forward. Plays about 20 minutes per game, but she is ball hungry. I mean, she is a true rebounder. That is her niche. She reminds me a lot of Angel Reese that plays for the Chicago Sky. She just knows her role and does it at a high level.
And that's a player that Coach Abe, whose name she invoked with Maya Verse, said, play like her. You've got a gift, and it's rebounding. Go do it. Raina Scott fouled with 3 on the shot clock and 5 left in the period. So 2 free throws for Raina Scott.
Well, Verse may also receive some of that toughness in her DNA. Brother plays for the LA Rams as defensive back and also got the defensive rookie player of the year. That's right. Insane.
Rams just got eliminated last weekend.
Yes.
So Raina Scott making her first career start today. That one home, and she has definitely been on the uptick in SEC play. She's got double figures in 3 of her last 5 games.
And what a great opportunity to start, you know, and let her know that Coach Bronczek sees the work that she's putting in to give her that big start for today's game.
Avenger's attempt blocked by Liz Scott at the buzzer. 26 points in the first period for the Oklahoma Sooners. And a 14-point lead. They made their final 5 field goals to close out that quarter. Georgia shoots 38% in the first quarter today, and the Lady Bulldogs were 0 for 4 from 3-point range. And you make so much of Oklahoma and their offense, but This might be the best defensive team that Jenny Baranchak has had in her time in Norman. 17 of 19 opponents have been held below their scoring average, and 16 of 19 below their field goal percentage average by this Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, you just don't think of defense when you think of Oklahoma Sooners. And
but there it is.
There
right
it
on
is.
cue.
You're right. And they're 20th nationally in defensive rating. They allow only 79 points per 100 possessions. It's a beautiful thing.
Peyton Verhulst is 2 for 2 from the three-point line today.
Now, that's a young lady that you do not want to have a short closeout on. I mean, she is an incredible player, but I would definitely run her off the line.
That's an illegal screen called against Jahate.
You can see right here, Chad, just, I mean, Georgia is incredible, but look what that toughness from Miss Scott. I mean, to be able to pull it basically out of the offensive player's hands and then turn around and find a great shooter on the assist.
She had 38 last time Oklahoma played in this building against Missouri. Second most scored by an SEC player this year. Just letting it flow that day. Dribble drive for Sahara Williams over the top. No.
Good
that
look.
Ball got poked out of the hands of Sahara Williams. We will have a foul on Avenger.
You know, Chad, to be honest, I mean, you still don't see the pace of Oklahoma offense. I mean, there's almost a little hesitant on decision making, but when they free flow and play like Coach Baranchak told us, like you're on the playground playing pickup, I mean, that's what she's wanting to see today from her Sooner basketball team.
Raina Scott, foul line jumper. Trinity Turner the rebound. Georgia with the chance to claw a bit closer here. Turner probes the Sooner defense and an unfriendly roll there.
Well, Coach Abe talked about this young team, and when she arrived to Georgia, there was 5 players left on the roster. She had a jump in the portal, signed 10 new players, and so she's had the luxury. A lot of UCF players came with her first season, but then last season was really her first year having to rebuild the roster.
And now you have this huge freshman class that's super talented, and there's a part of it right there. Verse to the bucket.
Love her. I really do. I think that's a solid player, and just her physicality and what she brings to this team is pretty special.
Back-to-back turnovers for Oklahoma. Georgia with a chance to take advantage. Turner, though, cannot as she misfires on that three.
And Turner's a good three-point shooter. I mean, she's consistent in her approach. She hit the game-winning three-point shot to beat Missouri, and so she's capable.
Sahara Williams captures another field goal. 17-point Oklahoma lead. Georgia really trying to make sure they slow the pace. They're not inbounding and just racing up court with Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that goes back to the key of the game of control the tempo, and I think they're doing a really good job with that here today.
Lady Bulldogs now 0 for 6 from three-point range. Van turns and scores. No indecision there. She just banged home her first field goal.
Yeah, just her leadership, and Coach Baranchak said she had a great week at practice. But when you have players that can play multiple positions and a young lady that can step outside the three and knock it down and then play with her back to the basket and expose mismatches is someone that you would definitely want to have on a team.
Triple team arrives around Wolffolk, who takes the tumble. And she is fouled on the floor.
You know, drag action, just a simple bounce pass into Skylar Van, creating space on the little step back. Just a beautiful shot.
Reigning Big 12 Conference Player of the Year, two-time Big 12 Sixth Player of the Year. Skylar Van over for a breather right now.
Wants to play overseas professionally. I think she has a great opportunity to do that.
That is the first made three of the game for the Lady Bulldogs. It comes from their three-point threat off the bench, Damari Fournoy. Over the top, Beers. And she scores again. Oklahoma really working that high-low, and they've got Landry Allen in the game providing some of that passing.
Yeah, Landry Allen, I mean, she's really good. She's doing really good with the two-man game with the high-low passing, being able to create at that high post for her teammate. And that's a young lady that has a really bright future.
Under 10 on the shot clock as Avenger misses that one. Beatot scampers down the baseline.
Nice
this is Allen, and that rims in.
Yeah, really nice pass, that baseline, but just her court vision, threading the needle through the defense to get Peyton the basketball.
20-point lead for Oklahoma. Turner bumped, knocked down, and fouled. She'll shoot a pair.
Yeah, it was a good take off the deck for Turner. Freshman, averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds per game. In their last outing, 19 points, knocked down 2 threes. But look at that, bounce back behind the back of the defender to Peyton. That's just what point guards do. He can deliver the ball.
Referees are huddled up here. Denise Brooks is the referee. Lloyd Golbian and Meadow Overstreet, the 2 umpires. It's Meadow Overstreet, and they are headed over to the scorer's table. And Patricia's going to get a little clarification. We'll tell you what they're looking at when we come back to the Lloyd Olson Center.
The previous call is under review to see who the correct foul was on.
Better really quick.
And Georgia, they're playing without some pieces as well. Amaya Evans missing her 4th consecutive game, unfortunately. And Roxanne McCullough is out. She's the USC transfer, went to the Elite 8 with USC, but Roxanne McCullough unavailable. This is her 4th consecutive missed game. So some depth, some pieces for Coach Abe unavailable. And we mentioned Kirsten Johnson not available for Jenny Baranchak and the Sooners.
No one wants that injury is a part of their roster. I definitely experienced that this past season, and you just hope they get back as soon as possible. What a great opportunity, though, for other players to really step up.
Landry Allen couldn't quite gather that, partly because her arm was being held by Summer Davis.
Yeah, definitely. That goes back to the chopping the wood again. I mean, it's great mismatches. I love how this Oklahoma offense has guards that can post up and be efficient with their back to the basket. I mean, it exposes mismatches, and it's hard to defend.
That one thrown into the backcourt by Verhulst. A little miscommunication. And a run-out lay-in that's missed by Flournoy.
Wow.
2 tries at it. They'll get a third, perhaps. See who that foul is against. Flournoy scrambling to try to make up for missing the layup.
Yeah, you got to love the extra effort. But, yeah, the pass on the opposite end, that is the possessions you can't afford. You've got to get a great, high-quality shot every possession, and then to turn it over and miss the layup, that's as good as a turnover, a bad pass. And so you've got to knock those down, especially with the score like it is.
The foul was against Landry Allen. Woolfolk with a powerful rebound, and she'll have a chance at a 3-point play. We'll see if this is against Van or Allen. Lady Bulldogs trying to hang in on the offensive glass on this trip.
Yeah, what a great, strong move into the defense. She just muscles her way in, lowers that left shoulder, and has a great finish. And get the and one to get to the free throw line. I mean, that is momentum changers.
So that is 5 offensive rebounds for the Lady Bulldogs here in this first half. And a 3-point chance here for Mia Woolfolk out of Midlothian, Virginia. Missed 9 games with injury and had a double-double in her debut. Dad Peter played collegiately at Richmond.
I mean, what about these freshmen on this Georgia team?
This is a team that you better get this year, maybe next year, because they're going to be a handful the next few years.
Yeah, and they're going to add a few more solid athletes, and this is a really an upcoming team, and they're the only SEC team to have 2 freshmen ranked among its top 3 scorers. And the Georgia rookies make up 45% of their team scoring and 40% of their squad's rebounding. Hello, I'm excited about that. If you're coaching this team.
They're puppies, not full-grown Bulldogs yet. Liz Scott with a chance to return the favor as Woolfolk fouled her.
Well, again, another great high-low look and keeping the basketball away from the defender. Scrappy, tough. Look at her, and then pull. She wanted to. I was expecting her to pop that Oklahoma in front of that jersey, but she refrained a little bit. But great, solid move.
6 points for Liz Scott today, coming off the bench, made an immediate impact. Oklahoma foul line not great. They've missed 3 so far, 4 of 7 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, and you've got to, you need to make those. I mean, those are free. The only thing that changes about a free throw is the pressure. I mean, that is the same.
That's a great statement. Where did you came up with that one?
I probably not. I probably stole it from someone in my early years of 30 years of coaching. But I mean, it does. I mean, think about it. It's the same rhythm, same routine.
Yep.
And it's amazing because a lot of times when you're shooting a free throw, the crowd gets really quiet, and that's pressure.
You're going to be watching a broadcast that I'm on, and you're going to hear me say that. Yes. No, I'm going to steal it. I'm telling you that I will steal that line. It's a good one. The only thing that changes about a free throw is the pressure.
It is. Yeah, without a doubt. When I had the opportunity to sit in on UCLA women's basketball practice last month, I mean, they literally practice that. They'll bring the band in and make it really loud, and then they'll go completely silent just to prepare them.
The #1 team in the country.
That's
UCLA.
exactly right.
So South Carolina's going to have something to say before that's all said and done.
100%.
Their win over Tennessee this week. Culleton converts.
And that's good to see because Beatrice had a tough game against South Carolina, did not score in that game, and to see her back in action this afternoon is really good.
Oklahoma back up by 20. This equals the largest lead of the game for the Sooners. Woolfolk working hard inside against Culleton. Liz Scott wrangles the rebound.
Well, Chad, it goes back to what you asked me is what do you do now with Reagan Beer sitting on the bench? And that's get it into your post players, and it'll open up again for your guards as well.
That's Liz Scott's first three-point attempt of the year. It says right here on my stat sheet, it's the first one she's taken. She's saying,
ready.
I'm going to take
She's
more.
ready.
Green light. Green light.
I love that, and that's one of the things that Coach Bronchek talked about. She needs to be more confident in shooting the three because she's in between, you know, with her size, and what a great opportunity and what a great shot. I'm happy for her.
Jimmy Bronchek's big on that, though. Be a threat.
Yes.
Avenger is a threat, though that one is short. Late shot clock situation. Verhulst. That's her first miss from downtown. She made her first 2. How about Tot? She squeezes one off.
And talk about if you can see Jenny Bronchek on the sideline, that makes that lady happy when you can see the three-point shot going down and just the enthusiasm she brings on the sideline. It's hard for players not to resemble her in everything they do on the court.
10-0 run in the last 2 minutes for Oklahoma. The lead 26. Avenger collides with Tot, and 2 free throws come in the way of the senior guard.
When we talk about those three-point shots from Oklahoma, you know, Georgia is last in the SEC in defending the three. Most teams shoot around 34%, and so Oklahoma has taken advantage of that. 5 for 8 from behind the arc.
Oklahoma is drilling it overall, 63% from the field. And that 5 of 8 from downtown that you mentioned has been a part of it.
Well, how do you respond right off of a 41-point loss against South Carolina? Well, this is how you do it. I mean, this is a great performance, and I know you're at home in your own beds, and you had a bye week to really work on things, and it's paying off.
I like that. It was Coach Abe that said, no, it was not a week off. It was a bye week.
Yes, that's right.
Week off means you didn't do anything.
You know what we call that in the league? We call that training camp. You go back to the basics and you start making it as hard as you possibly can.
As a player, I like the idea of bye week better than training camp.
Yeah, that's right.
Zaya Van. And into the arms of Avenger. Aubrey Jones is in for the first time for Oklahoma today. And Sahara Williams a little aggressive in the backcourt defending Avenger.
Yeah, that's let her come on down. That's a foul that you don't want and don't need.
And it will put the Lady Bulldogs at the free throw line.
Yeah, you bet.
There's Aubrey Jones.
Talk about a basketball family. I had an opportunity to coach her sister Ashley Jones for a little bit of time, and just great family, hardworking young ladies.
4 sisters in the Jones family.
It's unbelievable.
Avenger quiets the Boyd Noble Center crowd. Leader of this team. Went over 1,000 points for her career earlier this year. The other thing about her is she guards the other team's best guard. And Coach Abe said, and she loves it.
And I love her for that. I mean, that's stepping up to the challenge. And, you know, it's funny, you know, this team is so young. Georgia team is so young. And Asia just wants to answer all the freshmen's questions because she's losing a little bit of patience as well. But prior to this game, she was bragging on them. She just thought that they were just absolutely incredible sisters and really wanting to make an impact in this Georgia program.
Lady Bulldogs without a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Oklahoma has started to put some distance between the two. Liz Scott traveled with it.
Yeah, good call, Chad. You called that before Roy did.
I think Wolf pulled the chair out from underneath him.
But Georgia can't afford that. They, like I said, it's one of those things with Georgia. I mean, they have empty possessions. They're 1 for 9 from the three-point line, shooting 11%. I'm doing that right there, giving it inside, and that's what, the third, second, and one.
Indeed it is for Wolffolk. Drawing the approval of her teammates.
Yeah, just to back up and to spin. I mean, I call that the flip the hip move. Raina Scott was standing straight up, and that's what great post players do. They read that defense and go in the direction that the defense don't want you to go, and that was a great example of it.
Wolffolk with a good first half now. 8 points. In fact, she's the leading scorer for the Lady Bulldogs. A wrestling match going on inside, and it produces a foul against Verse. And now it's Oklahoma's turn to go to the free throw line.
For me, it's an unusual lineup for Oklahoma. You don't see this combination very much, and they're utilizing the score, but also giving these young ladies an opportunity to play and work on their team chemistry.
But I think that's still a part of it, isn't it? For Jenny Baranczyk, what combinations can work. And
yeah, it's a tough one, and especially when you have the depth that Oklahoma has.
And the conversations continue with Raina Scott, who got her first career start today.
She's embraced it.
7 points now for Sahara Williams. And Oklahoma's lead is back out to 22 points.
Georgia going into their drag screen, trying to get to the rim, draw that second defender for a wide open three.
And they got exactly what they wanted. That three knocked down by Flournoy.
Well, last game, she knocked down 4 of those threes against Kentucky.
Zaya Van counters with a 2 for the Sooners, though.
Love Zaya Van. I mean, Coach Baranczyk bragged on her during practice the other day, just saying that, you know, she just needs to play, have fun, and play with confidence.
Drop step there, Sahara Williams, and a reach-in foul. They will get Wolffolk with that one. And more free throws for Sahara Williams.
Yeah, I love what Jenny said, too, about Beers and Payton and Williams, is they made this Sooner basketball team go, and they need to have better chemistry on the floor. And I'm anxious to see what Jenny thinks after the game, if they have enhanced that, and if this bye-week training camp, I'm going to make her palms sweat, if it paid off for them. Because it's huge for those 3 young ladies to get going.
As a coach, you see Raina Scott over there.
Yeah,
she's asking a question. How much do you appreciate a player that knows they don't have all the answers and they're not afraid to ask?
Hey, that's what I loved about Veronica Burton. That's what I loved about Crystal Dangerfield. That's what I loved about Chelsea Gray. They always wanted to come over and talk at dead ball possessions, and, you know, just either giving advice what they see on the floor, or also what can we do better and what can I do to help this team be successful. And as a coach, you respect that. I mean, I love it.
Final minute of the opening half. Sahara Williams, she's in full attack mode right now. She's got another bucket. 10 points as she leads all scorers this afternoon.
Yeah, she plays so hard, and she's got a great build for her position, and just muscling her way to the rim. And I think she's the future of Oklahoma basketball. I really do. I mean, especially that with Isaiah Van as a young freshman. She just has a lot of growth, but she is a fantastic player. Just that crossover, and oh, look at that, just up and under, and to be able to finish off one leg. Big time for that young lady.
What was the degree of difficulty on that shot?
Well, it's really high.
5-second violation. Lady Bulldogs could not get it inbounded in the allotted time.
I think that's a 10th turnover for Georgia.
And Oklahoma has had 8.
That's okay. That's progress. We just got to keep it under the. I think they average 19. If she can get under 13, I mean it. She's leaving here extremely happy. Going to sleep a lot better tonight. Nice pass.
Verhulst, no. 5 seconds left. Turner speeds, fires, but it's off the mark at the buzzer. And it's a 24-point advantage for the 15th-ranked Sooners, trying to win their 24th straight in this building against an unranked conference foe.
Yeah, what a great job. And that young lady is having a big afternoon, starting and then...
Sooners by 24. Your halftime show coming up next from the Lloyd Noble Center. With her players, you see the We Back Pack t-shirts that they're wearing today. 5 of 9 from three-point range, plus 10 on the boards. Oklahoma is 3rd in the country in rebounding margin.
Yeah, I mean, this team is really, I mean, this is obviously a top 25 team. They're ranked currently at number 15. I expect them to climb. The SEC is tough. They have 7 teams in the top 25. You can't have an off night to be successful. But I know that Jenny Bronchek has to be extremely pleased with this first half of play.
Raina Scott got her first career start today. She begins with the ball in her hands to start half number 2.
I like the double post look going into the high-low action.
Beers a little off the mark with that one. And Skylar Van steals the rebound. She's rewarded with the 2-point try. That's good.
Yeah, I love the defense turning into your offense. Skylar Van with that great dunker spot shot. And we're wearing our purple ribbons for We Back Pack game.
Recognizing the Pat Summit Foundation, the fight against Alzheimer's disease and dementia, t-shirts and purple ribbons. And for more information, we encourage you to do this. Go to patsummit.org. You can find out how your team can have a We Back Pack game.
Our son Tyler came up with this foundation, and what a you always believe you have mentors, you know, from a distance, and that Pat Summit was mine. I mean, 38 seasons, won 8 national championships. I had the pleasure of also coaching Candace Parker, and to hear the stories about Pat is it's life-changing, to be honest. I mean, so much respect for Pat and that family.
Jenny Bronchek's got the purple on today. See all the purple ribbons, and the Sooners wearing their gray We Back Pack shooting shirts throughout the competition.
How would you like to have a coaching record of 1,098 to 208?
I can't even do the math on that. What's the percentage? I mean, 80-something%?
Yeah, the best of the best. All of us would take that right now.
So we have a stoppage here, and I'm not exactly certain what it's about. I don't know. They were playing Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. Maybe the crowd just wanted to hear a little music there.
That's it. Let Georgia get into that double drag action, and they're going to their high-low look.
It was a shot clock reset. Wolfolk going to work. She's had a nice afternoon.
Yeah,
that's 10 for her.
Yeah, especially elevating over Beers in the paint.
Van, another offensive rebound, and Sahara Williams crashes in. She'll shoot a pair.
You see the restricted area with the half moon there in the middle of the lane. That is no longer in college basketball. basketball, only for men. Other than that, that would have definitely been a block because those heels was on that line if it was last season, but obviously changed that rule just for better safety.
Yeah, it's a little confusing when you see the restricted area that the men use, but in the women's game, it's only the cylinder right underneath the basket where you cannot be.
They need to change that in the league. Now we have the defensive 3-second rule where if you're in the lane for 3 seconds, then it's a technical foul and the opponent gets the ball. And so you can't hang out there with that second defender.
Dozen points for Sahara Williams today. She leads all scorers.
Love the two-man game in that double stagger for Georgia.
Woolfolk. Beers poked it away. Woolfolk attacks after she retrieved it. More free throws here for Mia Woolfolk.
You can see Jenny with her palms up, like exactly what just took place. She needs to talk to Coach Abe's husband, Michael, about these calls.
As you mentioned, he is an official. That is the third foul on Skylar Van. That one rims in for Woolfolk.
He'll probably come out very soon. Well, you can see Scott going to check in. I'm assuming it's for her.
Woolfolk deposits both free throws, and now Liz Scott does replace Skylar Van for the Sooners. 3 on Van.
And there's that full court press that we talked about in the first half. I thought we would see this from Georgia. They really executed at a high level, and so yes, Oklahoma can handle the pressure.
Woolfolk a little aggressive on that closeout against Beers.
Yeah, I think with Beers, you know, in that matchup, just getting there with 2 high hands is enough. You don't have to run her off the line because she has proven in this game and others that she can put the ball on the deck and create at the rim.
You know, she's made 6 of her 13 3-point tries this year as well, has Beers.
So then maybe she should have run her off the line.
Now Beers does spot up, but an offensive foul under the basket on Sahara Williams called there.
She's running back down the court, telling her teammates, my bad, giving them high fives. And it's hard not to battle with a defender that's giving it right back to you or an offensive player that's giving it right back to you. And she proved her point, so we can move on now. Next possession.
Oftentimes they get the retaliator.
That's it.
Avinger, good job to kind of probe the defense. It sets up the 3 by Flournoy. Here comes Oklahoma. That's the 8th rebound for Beers.
Nice pass.
Williams couldn't quite cash in the touch pass from Verhulst.
Yeah, great touch pass, and those highlight possessions right there. If she would have just knocked down that easy layup.
Great post position this time, but Jahute is going to be whistled for it. Raina Scott hits the deck.
Yeah, with Jahute, I mean, she led with her elbow. We do teach that for post players, but you want to lead with that elbow towards the ceiling, not at the chin. And I'm surprised they're not going to go and...
I think they are. They're going to have a look at that for contact.
Yeah, they need to on that one. That was definitely a headshot. Both coaches feel, I mean, I don't see anyone reacting to it, so.
I'm surprised they did not go take a look at that.
Would have been at half court.
You're saying you would have had their full attention?
Full attention. Oklahoma in their split action, they're 5 out.
Bantot, no. First had it for a moment. What a scrappy rebound there by Liz Scott as she rolls into the photographer's courtside.
I love her energy. I mean, she is the X factor in this game. And, you know, you look at the stat sheet, but she does what the staff behind the bench. What was that?
I'm trying to figure out what the call. No foul,
yeah,
just out of bounds off Scott.
Yeah, then now we can see a little bit of animation from Jenny Bronchek on the sideline, letting Roy understand that she doesn't appreciate that call.
That conversation is still going. 12 to shoot here for the Lady Bulldogs. Avenger, nice crossover step back, but couldn't complete the play.
They need to complete it because that's what led to that three-point shot by Peyton.
3 of 4 from three-point range for Peyton Verhulst. She has 9 points. And Coach Abe is going to take a Georgia timeout. What did you call it? A short closeout?
That is it. But, you know, if you miss shot and you allow Oklahoma to get out and run, and for their three-point shooters to spot up around the perimeter, it's over.
Today and so far in SEC play, and Jenny Barachek has used the word hesitation. That's what has caused so many turnovers. Has that been better today? That one word?
100%. I mean, you know, we had people walking by us going, they're back. You know, their offense, they're clicking on all cylinders, and you know, this training camp bye week, I mean, it has really paid off to get back to their team chemistry and get some confidence back. One thing they learned about that 41-point loss against South Carolina is they never want to do it again. And so they put in the work this past week.
Skylar Vann is back in the game for the Sooners, playing with 3 fouls at this point. Liz Scott deep in the post.
Well, Oklahoma has just dominated this game. 24 paint points, 10 second chance, 11 fast break, 25 bench, and this is just a well-rounded game.
And a plus 14 on the boards are the Sooners. Up top it goes to Nia Leveretter, blocked by Verhulst, but a foul call.
I love it when the fans are so loyal to their teams and you hear boos in the background. But yeah, Lexi Keys, I mean, we've seen worse in this game, right? And I think she just might have skimmed her forearm. But yeah, that's okay. I'm letting that go. I'm letting that one go.
Well,
It's not.
So Keys did get away with hers, but
Yeah.
the foul was on Verhulst on the block.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Leveretter to the free throw line.
I just bypassed that.
Yeah,
Come
you're
on.
just going to have to let that one go, right? Vann secures that rebound.
Well, there goes it back again with just that cutting with a purpose, looking to score, and then taking that defender with you will open up a lot of three-point shots for the Sooners. That's something they worked on in practice on Friday.
Scott whistled for that one as she ran into Avenger. That's 2 on Scott. And I believe that is bonus time for the Lady Bulldogs. So this is one way you can chip away at the lead.
You bet if you make them. That's exactly right. I don't know if you noticed that last possession, Chad, but, you know, Lexi Keys really cut with a purpose, and that's something that Jenny was talking to her about, is cut to score. Don't just cut to cut, but cut expecting that you're going to get the basketball, and it might create for you, but not only you, but for your teammates around the perimeter. And so she listened.
Avenger able to quiet the crowd a little bit. Georgia was struggling for consistent offense. No field goals in the last 3 minutes plus, but the foul line can certainly be their friend over the final half of this third quarter. They'll be at the free throw line a good deal.
Yeah, if I know that as a coach, and I know her staff is telling Coach Abe that, I'm putting it on the deck, and I'm trying to create and draw a foul and get to the free throw line, get that clock stopped.
Top bangs down the 3. That is her second made 3.
I'd love to see Tot being aggressive. I mean, this is what the Sooners were missing the last couple of games. It's just her energy and what she brings to this team. So it's nice to see her looking for her shot.
Verhulst.
Oh, wow.
Step back 3. Avenger crashes in for the rebound. Here come the Lady Bulldogs. They chase Turner off the three-point line, and instead she'll go to the free throw line.
And Turner's a great three-point shooter. I mean, she's 0 for 3 this afternoon, but she'll knock it down if you leave her open. But again, it goes back to this wide open shot. We know Georgia is the worst team in the SEC, defending the 3, and perfect example of it. I mean, she keeps her players grounded. I asked her, I said, no, you're ranked right 15th. And she goes, I have no idea. She goes, we just come out and just try to compete and play and win all games. And I like that approach. I mean, because a lot of times, you know, with social media and everything, you're always looking and reading and figuring out what other teams are doing. But you know, she's just focused on her team and getting them better.
It's one of 6 games in conference today. 2 more will be played on Monday. Got a big feature game, South Carolina at Tennessee on ESPN2 tomorrow evening.
Can't wait to watch. 7 teams in the top 25 in a conference.
And honestly, it could almost be more than that. You get into playing in this league,
That's true.
and they just beat up on each other, knocking down the perception of each team individually. That's the problem with it.
It is. I mean, you've got to have them laced up really tight every time you step on the court.
It's like you talking to Coach Baranchek. You know, remember that you are number 15 in the country.
Right.
And
Don't get
sometimes
too
you lose
down.
sight of that,
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly right. And that's why we always say don't let the lows get too low or the highs get too high, because that can change. But being in the SEC and, you know, coming out of the Big 12, I mean, it's just, you know, it's different at times for some of these teams, and Oklahoma is one of them.
Oklahoma closing out with back-to-back championships in their Big 12 days. First season here in the SEC. 27-point advantage for the Sooners. All right, Georgia's got some offense from the foul line. Where else can they get it from? Well, maybe right there for Trinity Turner, their leading scorer.
Yeah, give her the ball, right? And everyone else back away. But, yeah, if we can get some of these freshmen, you know, the top 3 leading scorers for Georgia and get their playmakers, but they've got to see the ball go in the basket. And I'm going to go, you know, we say free throw line. They got to continue to get there.
Lob into Beers. That's easy pickings for Reagan Beers.
Well, there's that height mismatch that in just her physicality and just how she seals. I mean, she's a fundamental post player, knows when to duck in. The timing is correct, even on the high lows. She's a really, really incredible player.
10 points and 8 rebounds for Reagan Beers. Closing in on another double-double. Fight for that rebound. They say it's off Oklahoma's Landry Allen. Reset here for the Lady Bulldogs.
Now, if you think of Oklahoma in their last game against South Carolina, 7 out of the 13 players that played did not score. And I know that Coach Baranchek has to be happy with this balanced scoring, especially from the bench.
That is 2 fouls on Allen. And Maya Verse will go back to the free throw line. Maya Verse, she had a 17 rebound game, 17 against Texas A&M. And that's the one, and Coach Abe was telling us she came back a little different mindset with regard to that rebounding skill that she has following the Christmas break.
Well, they had that one-on-one conversation and said, you are a great rebounder. Just focus on that when you're in the game, and if anything else happens, you know, and treat it as a positive thing, but your job is to rebound. And I think coaches, when they sit down with their players and give them their roles and the expectations and standards, I think players will be more successful.
It's going to be a held ball out front between Keys and Avenger. Possession arrow heads the other way with the Lady Bulldogs.
This matchup with Van as freshman going against Avenger senior. I mean, she, you know, the lights were a little big for her in that last game against South Carolina, but what gaining an invaluable experience.
It's a good closeout there by Landry Allen to keep Verse off the boards.
And I've seen this Georgia team be really aggressive on the ball, and I expected a little bit more from them defensively today, but they have such a high ceiling. These freshmen are good. I mean, the future is bright for this Bulldog program.
You see one freshman and another coming into this game as Woolfolk is back in. Raina Scott returning for the Sooners as Aubrey Jones exits. We'll see Landry Allen at the free throw line. She is earning more playing time, good minutes against Texas A&M. and getting that high-low feel with her and Reagan Beers. And that's not just her at the foul line throwing the pass. As you saw right there, she's good at accepting it inside, too.
Yeah, sophomore. I mean, she's another player that's going to make an impact. And Coach Bronchett talked about that. She probably has the best two-man game with Beers right now in that high-low horn set.
Continuing to discuss
I know,
things.
I love it. I mean, it's always a teachable moment, right, in every possession. And I think Coach Bronchett is really doing a great job this game of clarifying what she wants and what great performances her players are performing at.
You know, you see it work in different ways with coaching staff. Sometimes an assistant will go down the bench and talk to a player, but Jenny Baranchek is right. As soon as you come off the floor, we're going to have a conversation. Then you can go sit and think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have both, you know, but also you can talk too much at times, and I think they do it the right way.
Raina Scott peels to the foul line. That's a tough shot, and Woolfolk has another rebound. To Leverett, who couldn't get a shot free. Woolfolk not afraid to get physical and score, as she's done a lot today.
You got to keep that pivot foot down and just go into her second pivot. I mean, that's just a really good move from that young lady.
14 for Mia Woolfolk today to lead the Lady Bulldogs.
Averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, and only averages 20 minutes per game.
That's an offensive foul there against Zaya Van. I think the crowd assumed it was going to be a blocking foul. They've extended the forearm just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but still, that's one that I'm just so used to such intense physicality. It didn't stop her from getting, to the rim. I just let that go. I'm going to keep saying that. Maybe not, but right in those 1-2 possessions, yes.
You're not any friendlier to the referees seemingly over here than you were over on the bench.
I did hug them prior to the game.
Good point. Beers comes across for the block shot. That is her first block this afternoon, her 23rd on the year.
Yeah, what a great job of using her length and just timing. I mean, that's an art. It's hard to teach. Block and timing and just her to elevate and extend away from the offensive player. Big time block.
Turner, good eyes to spot the corner three, but Flournoy couldn't convert it.
Yeah, they're struggling from the three-point line, only averaging, a short amount of 6 threes per game, but right now they're shooting 14%.
Don't take a high volume typically. Lady Bulldogs don't. Woolfolk with another retrieval. A lot of physicality, just bringing the ball up court both ways.
There's the isolation, just the playmakers that this Georgia team has.
I think Raina Scott clipped that shot on the way up, and the possession arrow favors the Sooners on that help ball.
Now we see Coach Abe in Roy's ear. Poor Roy, I'm going to have to hug him again after the game. They're working him over, but that's just how it is. You're going to love him, and then at times, not so much.
Beers could not handle that pass. Woolfolk.
Nice job.
Corrals it and scores it.
Yeah, rim run. Guard knew exactly where she would be. A good job of getting the defense off their feet and finishing the little backboard kiss-off shot.
It's 16 now for Woolfolk. Kate Verhulst returns for Oklahoma as we're under a minute to play in the third. And bonus time for the Sooners as Reagan Beers toes the foul stripe. She has her 8th double-double of the year today. 10 points and 10 rebounds for Reagan Beers. Kind kind of see it building from that second half that she had against South Carolina. For Oklahoma, their Texas A&M game here, she had to leave. She got her right shoulder caught in a precarious situation. Didn't play the rest of that. Didn't play the second half against Missouri either. Trying to get it fully healthy.
And she's lucky. I had a player, Satu Sabli, that did the same thing but ended up having surgery. And so she came out on the right side of that injury.
Williams poked that one away for Raina Scott to pick it up.
Been really impressed with that young lady this afternoon. Really getting it done on both sides of the basketball.
Sooners, it looks like you're going to hold for the final shot to close out the third.
Coach Bronchek giving instruction from the sideline. Little DHO and going to give, oh, nice execution.
Just beautiful ball movement, and Verhulst puts it in reverse for the final bucket of an impressive third quarter for Oklahoma. 28-point advantage headed to the fourth.
Yeah, again, how about Sharing is carrying the basketball, but what a great reverse layup by Peyton Verhulst. And then again, just putting it on the deck. Nice shot, great team chemistry. Great team chemistry. I mean, that has been lacking the last several games, and everyone that has played in this game this afternoon has impacted the game in a positive way. And I love the energy in Lloyd Noble Center. I love the energy from Oklahoma's bench, and they just need to finish strong in this last 10 minutes of this game.
And for Georgia, try to keep it tight, potentially go on a run and get yourself back into it. Been a good afternoon for Mia Woolfolk. She's got it.
Yeah, they're definitely going deep into the shot clock. 9 seconds left.
Trinity Turner strong with that offering.
And that's a good shot. I mean, it's just not falling for Georgia today.
Peyton Verhulst has made now 3 of 5 from three-point range today.
And that's one young lady, as I mentioned earlier, I would not leave open. Looks are deceiving. I mean, she is a facilitator, and I love in practice this past week that Coach Bronchek ran her at the point guard, the off guard, the 4. I mean, she's becoming that utility player that is really going to help Oklahoma.
Coach Bronchek has talked a lot with Peyton Verhulst about taking what the defense gives you. You may not like what you see, but you've got to adjust and adapt, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, basketball is unpredictable. It really is, and you know, a lot of times we get in our head too much, especially when you have structured plays and, you know, you have a system that you want them to run. And sometimes we forget as coaches to allow athletes to be athletes and just enjoy and play freely. And that's one of the things that Jenny is working on with her team. And Peyton's a perfect example. She really elevates her game when she plays freely.
Do sometimes the athletes, when they get involved with structure, forget to be athletes themselves?
100%. 100%.
Raina Scott, she's got 6. That's her first made 3 of the day. Lead to 30 for the Sooners, and on the hunt for more.
Again, Georgia with another 3. That's 2 for 15 for 13%.
Liz Scott crashes into Woolfolk and earns a pair of free throws. Liz Scott was a real tone setter when she came into the game today.
X factor. Yeah, I'm giving her the game ball. I mean, she really has been the difference and has elevated her teammates. She's taken away their excuses not to work hard and play at a high level. And so when you have a leader that demonstrates that, that's what you want from a coaching staff. We talked about the free throws. See how quiet it gets. Now I can hear everything in our headset. We're really good right now. Yeah. Other times we can't hear.
It has been loud in this building today.
Great crowd. Alumni game as well.
1 of 2 there for Liz Scott. And she's into double figures now with 10. Liz Scott 10. Sahara Williams a dozen. Peyton Verhulst 11. Reagan Beers 11. It's that balanced attack. Avenger. Guarded by Scott. Might have gotten away with one there, but they say she got her hand on top of the ball. And Liz Scott has the miss.
I'm going to give Oklahoma credit, too, for their defense. They are clogging the lane. Georgia is trying to shake and bake a little bit, trying to create in the isolation plays, but Oklahoma is sitting there at the nail in the 2-9 position, and so it's not only their offense but their defense. It's really been great today.
Okay, the nail is middle of the free throw line. What's the 2-9?
It's coming from offside, this lower defender. That's always that help position coming over. We call it, I said 2-9, in the league we call it 2-9 because you only have 3 seconds in the lane. So we remind them of that by calling it 2-9.
The 2-9 come down and forced to 3 seconds in the lane.
That's right.
This time it's a foul call that sends Woolfolk back to the free throw line. Just a good afternoon for Woolfolk. She's playing with 4 fouls, but that's 18 points and 4 rebounds so far.
Yeah, and their best, three-point shooter in Davis, she's 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4. You usually don't see that happen, and so, having the bye week, also, with a young team, you've got to find a way to bring back where you left off, and so I think this game is really going to help Georgia going into their next one.
1 point shy of a season and a career high now is Mia Woolfolk. She's got 19.
That would be a highlight of the day. I mean, that's really good for that young lady.
Williams, beautiful feed to Verhulst, who cashes in.
Chad, too easy right now. I don't know if Oklahoma's put in on a shooting clinic or a passing clinic because they're getting whatever they want.
Always among the national leaders in assists. The Sooners have 18 assists on 28 made buckets today. Lena Scott able to pluck that one from Avenger, and a foul. I think Avenger's going to pick that one up.
Yeah, don't dribble in front of that young lady. What quick hands from Raina Scott.
Beg your pardon, it's Flournoy.
That was still Georgia number 10. First personal, team number 2.
Defense turning your offense, but just a great hustle by both young ladies. But again, just really in tune to the defensive concepts that Jenny has implemented in this defensive scheme.
Keys and Skylar Van return for the Sooners. Beers is in there. Here's Keys. Can't leave her open. Not this time.
And they're giving them shots. I mean, they're setting in a 3-2 zone right now, but they're moving the ball at a pretty good pace, and so it's opening up and creating a lot of those open looks.
Tough shot there with Beers flying a Woolfolk. And Alexi Keys will rebound and push. Wide open is Van. Almost too wide open.
Yeah, I would say she probably could have got to the rim on that possession, but give the young lady credit to having confidence to shoot in that dunker spot area.
Beers secures that backside rebound. Sooners will get a third look at it. And a foul against Verse.
When I was doing a little bit of research on Reagan Beers, and I'm a fan. I mean, I think she's extremely good, but she will be just the second SEC player since 1999, Tiara McCowan, to average 16 points, 8 rebounds, and shoot 65% in a season. McCowan was the League's Player of the Year in 2019 and did an incredible job for me the last 2 seasons.
Pretty good company there for Reagan Beers.
Love the high-low. Out of their motion, right into their high-low. There's still some fluid about it. It's not just your typical horn set.
Williams, no. And the foul going to be on Williams. She came back, tried to take it from Jahate. And Sahara Williams goes down.
That was a great defensive rotation by Jahate, coming over in the 2-9 position to get a high hands on that shot.
See the Lady Bulldogs concerned about their injured teammate Trinity Turner. By Hannah Stelzer. Six minutes to go. Oklahoma by 31.
Chad, I also think it's a good sign when they don't take him directly back to the locker room. So for her to still be on the bench, that's definitely a good sign.
The foul, by the way, was the 4th on Sahara Williams. So she's over on the bench. She's got 4. Two Lady Bulldogs, Woolfolk and Verse, each have 4.
Like that set play coming out of that timeout.
Avenger with 2 tries at it. And the Lady Bulldogs will get a 3rd. Stays on this end.
Yeah, it's a good play. I'd go right back to it. They got something from it. That Iverson cut into a 2-man game on the side. Really good execution by Georgia.
Verhulst got a hand in to poke it away. It's picked up, though, by India Davis, who's in for the first time. There's her sister, Summer, and she scores. Sister act right there.
Sister said, put me in a little bit quicker on that score. No, that's a great job of being able to sit that long on the bench and then be able to come in and knock down 2 points. I think she proved that she's staying ready over there and locking in.
India Davis was the 2023 Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year, and then Summer was the 2024 Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. Reagan Beers earning a couple of free throws. So 5:18 left here at Latricia in a game that Oklahoma's pretty well got comfortable.
Sure.
What are both coaches looking for the rest of the way?
That they're still competing and fighting and making every possession count. And not only are you wanting to make a difference, a positive difference right now in this last 5 minutes and 18 seconds, but you're also wanting great momentum going into your next game.
And for Oklahoma, that will be at LSU.
Oh, doesn't get easy.
It does not. Georgia will be hosting Ole Miss Thursday, then they're at Alabama. And Alabama dropping a close one to Vanderbilt earlier today, as we told you about. Davis, that was tough.
Nice
Defender
shot.
right with her. That is Summer with the bucket. And Beer's going to be called for traveling with it. Didn't quite get the feet in order.
Don't want those turnovers. No empty possessions, especially going into LSU. We've talked about, Oklahoma's Achilles heel, is their turnover rate. And right now, the Sooners have 14 turnovers.
But a lower rate than what they are averaging in conference play.
One step at a time.
Summer Davis stopped at the foul line, and Skylar Vann poked that one away. Tot tripped up by Summer Davis at midcourt. That is foul number 4 against the Lady Bulldogs.
Georgia foul number 23, Summer Davis, 3rd personal, team foul number 4.
Nevaeh Tot coming off the bench for the first time in over 3 seasons today, and she's produced a couple of made 3-pointers and 3 assists. 3 assists and 1 turnover. That is the orchestrator that Nevaeh Tot has been in her Sooner career. And I think we had the shot clock get reset and misset. So there's going to be a word over at the scorer's table.
I remember the first time I saw Nevaeh Tot play, I just thought, man, what energy she brings. How many times we talk about, she's only, I don't know how tall she is.
5'3".
5'3", right. And we were talking about how big she plays. I mean, because she was just finishing over length at the rim and just a water bug. I mean, brought a ton of energy. And so I think this game probably will wake her up as well and come back against LSU and be even better.
She is 5th in Oklahoma history with 555 assists.
Okay.
And for her career, a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio or better. And she's able to cash in the first one here. That was actually 5 team fouls against the Lady Bulldogs. So the bonus here for Nevaeh Tot and the Sooners. 8 points off the bench for Tot today.
You can see Oklahoma, too, on defense. They're just communicating, pointing. I mean, they took it to heart, and Coach Baranchek was concerned of how they would respond after their loss to the #2 team in the country, South Carolina. And she talked about this is not where they want to be, and they really have responded well. Big
Verhulst cut off there. That ball was tipped, but Beers is still able to grab it and then turn it over. Picked off by Avenger.
Did I jinx him with the turnovers? We were bracking on him.
Avenger's going to get the reset. Upset that she could not quite finish the play. Says now we've got to try it all over again.
And Oklahoma hasn't scored a field goal in the last 3 minutes and 25 seconds, so they've got to get a little bit more continuity going on the offensive end.
And with that in mind, a substitution here. Landry Allen, Zaya Van, and Beatrice Culleton will enter for the Sooners. Maybe the final time we see Skylar Van and Reagan Beers this afternoon.
What a great game they had. I mean, this is exactly what the staff wanted to see.
Reagan Beers a double-double of 13 points and 11 rebounds today. Her 8th double-double as a Sooner. And Jahute able to cash in off the window there. It's the second field goal for Jahute today. Verhulst wide open and just off the mark.
Good look. Another good look.
Oklahoma 8 of 21 from three-point range today. Verhulst set a tone early. Knocked down her first 2 from downtown. She's got 13 points in this one.
And you see both teams are really controlling tempo. They're playing slow right now and in the half-court set. And I think right now, another turnover. But right idea, you know, drawing the lower defender over. I know I want to say it was going to be that great baseline pass to the corner for a 3, but well, maybe next time.
There's always next time. Verhulst off with that one. Culleton with the rebound and a reset for the Sooners with 3 minutes left. Zaya Van the blow by and fouled.
That was what I was expecting on the other end with Zaya driving hard. Had Peyton, team calls her P, in the baseline corner for the kick out.
So Zaya Van earns 2 free throws. Play has gotten a little choppy the last 3 or 4 minutes. Some fouls and some turnovers. A lot of substituting. Here's Zaya Van. You were mentioning it earlier, what a good fit she is in Oklahoma's system. You were talking about that this week. Big Sis even saying, hey, you fit great with what Oklahoma likes to do.
She's so innocent. I mean, I know that conversation, and she, you know, it's like sister wants to take care of her and try to help her be successful, but you also got to let her grow up a little bit. And so there's that love hate. I mean, you have children, you know how tough it is at times.
It can be. And, you know, you think about it both ways. Georgia is such a young roster. These players, if they're playing at this level, they probably didn't fail a lot at the previous level, AAU or high school ball. Then you get to the SEC, and it's a brand new ball game. You might be doing well, Latricia, even if you don't feel like you are.
It's like rookies coming into the league. You know, you're the player of the year in your conferences, All-American. You may have played on the Olympic team, but there's just that learning curve. And Coach Abe mentioned that. I mean, you mentioned AAU and high school. You have to retrain, learn behaviors in a very quick time. And as coaches, you learn a lot of patience during that time as well.
Kai Smith, the other Oklahoma freshman, missing that runner. That ball poked away by Kaya Smith. She'll baseball it right into the arms of Summer Davis of Georgia. And Kaya Smith took it away again. Making things happen. Andrea Allen splits a double team and earns 2 free throws.
It's unusual. Like I said, no field goals in the last 5 minutes and 48 seconds for Oklahoma. It's just a little slow pace right now, and I know the score is how it is. I mean, Oklahoma's definitely going to win this game, but you still got to continue to work on the little things that make the big things happen, and LSU's not going to be just a walk in the park for the Sooners next week.
LSU coming off that loss to South Carolina.
That was a great game.
4 straight ranked wins for Dawn Staley's second-ranked South Carolina club, and they will play that feature game at Tennessee tomorrow evening on ESPN2. We've got Mississippi State at Missouri.
I'm tuning in. It's going to be some great basketball.
Monday Night Hoops in the SEC.
Yeah, you can see right now Georgia just holding on the ball too long. They've got to move it side to side and look to get their offense going and look to score.
Aubrey Jones, the takeaway for Oklahoma.
She'll pull.
Right into the hands of Allen. It was. She'll get the assist on that one. Opportunistic, too, for Landry Allen.
A great job by Lexi Keys, just not anticipating that's going to go in, and she's rebounding the miss, rebounding the percentages.
Final 45 seconds. Summer Davis, not this time. Love the competitive rebound both ways there. And about 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. Oklahoma going to improve to 16-4, 4-3 in the SEC, and Georgia will fall to 9-12, 1-6 to start conference play. And it will be 24 consecutive conference wins over unranked foes here at the Lloyd Noble Center for the Sooners.
You can see Oklahoma just going to dribble it out. And what a great victory for the Sooners. Get back on that winning side and playing great basketball.
Just a couple of seconds left in this one. Lady Bulldogs will inbound, and this one will be in the books.
In the books.
Oklahoma wins it 86-55. Jenny Baranchek and Katie Abramson-Henderson exchange handshakes at center court. And Oklahoma gets back on track. You want to put a good week of practice into performance, and the Sooners did a very good job, especially through the first, we'll say, 3.5 quarters today, Latricia.
They did excellent, and like I said, that's something to build on going into next week, and I know that they demonstrated what they've worked on in this past week, and so I you know, as coaches, we're always going to find something that we can enhance, and that's what you want to do, but they've got to be extremely pleased.